There were some protesters out there saying things like this: "You're a man, you have no right to speak about abortion, you just want to control women's bodies." You hear that quite a bit. You also hear things like this: "White people have no authority to speak on racism." In fact, if you're watching us right now and you're going, "Frank, you're a white guy, how could you talk about racism?" You've actually partially bought into what we're going to talk about today. And I'll explain what that is here in a minute. Also, you're just trying to maintain your privileged position. Have you heard that? You might have heard this: if you deny you're a racist, you are a... And if you say you're a racist, then you are... So there's no way out, right? Everybody of a certain race is a racist, according to this theory we're going to get into. Also, you'll hear words like homophobe, transphobe, Islamophobe. What has come up as a result of all that, not just in America, but it started actually over in Europe, is something that is now called critical theory. And this man right here, Neil Shenvi, is not a proponent of critical theory. He's an opponent of critical theory. He's a Christian apologist. He has a PhD in theoretical chemistry, but he teamed up with a professor at Greensboro, UNC Greensboro, to author quite a bit about what is called critical theory. All of those questions and statements I put up a minute ago have something to do with critical theory. And you've probably heard terms like hegemonic power, intersectionality, white privilege, LGBTQ+, of course, social justice. You've heard these words, patriarchy. They're all under the umbrella known as critical theory. And let's just say at the outset, some of this is well-intended, right? I mean, we do have issues of racism. We do have issues of sexism. We do have issues of classism. We have those issues. I mean, we have our symbol here of Lady Justice holding up a scale, right? And she's blindfolded. Why? Because justice is supposed to be impartial. You're not supposed to, in order to be just, you just have to look at the evidence and see if the crime was committed or not look at someone's race or someone's gender or someone's social class. Let's just judge on the merits here. When I think of social justice, I think of taking action to care for the poor, orphans, widows, the unborn, people who can't speak for themselves quite a bit, or people who are in such a disadvantaged situation that we should help them. But as Ross was saying, there's another definition of social justice in the culture today, and that definition is oppressed groups must be liberated. And of course, one of the problems with critical theory is there's no Bible, right? There's no one place you can go to say, here's what critical theory is. There's a lot of different people that have opinions on it who claim to be critical theorists, so it's a bit messy. But most critical theorists out there will say this is a good definition of social justice. Working towards a celebration of diversity implies working for social justice, the elimination of all forms of social oppression. Social injustice takes on many forms. It can be injustice based on a person's gender, race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, physical or mental ability, or economic class. Peoples of color, class, economic class, so poor, lower middle class, that kind of thing. Women, transgenders, LGB, not T, because we've already covered T here, right? Non-Christians. Non-Christians are oppressed. Disabled are oppressed, immigrants are oppressed, and indigenous people. Now, who are the oppressors then? Okay, whites certainly. How about poor middle class? These are called the owning class. How about women and trans people? Men. How about LGB? Yes, heterosexuals are the oppressors here. How about non-Christians? Christians and non-Christians would be, say, Muslims and Hindus. Of course, in our society, they are a minority, and Christians are becoming a minority too. But if you went over to Saudi Arabia with this flip,